Cool. So, hello.
Hello.
If you'd like to introduce yourself, go wild.
Yeah, sure. My name's Pablo. I'm playing a band called Interwave.
There we go. And yeah, so you guys just released Take 3. Sounds very good. Very funky,
Thank
very
you.
pop. Definitely a bit of a different direction, I'd say, from the rest of your guys' stuff. Kind of slightly more funk.
Yeah,
Is the whole next album like that?
it's a mix. I think it's that I feel like it all lives in the same like decade kind of, but there's some stuff in there. There's a lot more like acoustic guitar. There's like some slower cuts, but definitely a lot more of a funkier vibe, old like disco vibe kind of. Yeah, and like old school R&B vibe, I would say as well. Um, but yeah, it's kind of like this just 70s really,
Yeah. And if I think you guys also have like a Spotify playlist on like the influences behind that album up.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
people can go check that out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then you directed the music video for that, right?
I did.
How
Yeah.
was that? How did that whole come together? What was the process behind that?
Well, I've I've always wanted to, direct more, for music
Yeah.
videos and just in general. And when we were thinking about making like the music videos for this album, I I really wanted to direct the video for that song. And it was kind of daunting a little bit because, I guess also being the person that, is singing to like direct the video,
Yeah.
it's like if it turns out great, then great. But if it turns out bad, then it's kind of like all my fault,
Yeah, yeah.
And people be like, what was he thinking? Why didn't they just hire a proper director?
Yeah.
But luckily people seem to like it. So, that's good. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to just sort of brainstorm with the idea, like grow it from such a small thing, and then get people involved to the point where it becomes this huge thing now. With like, I think we had like a 20 person crew or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Fair play. And I mean, like, is there a particular like meaning behind any of it, or is it just like it just looks cool and it's a vibe?
I think it's both. I think when I was coming up with the idea, I wanted it to look cool. That's like,
Yeah.
Obviously,
Number one thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you have a really important meaning, but the video is like trash, then I guess no one's gonna want to watch it anyways.
Yeah, yeah.
But as I was developing the concept and like spitballing it with friends, it seemed like there was an inherently a meaning there, a sort of symbolism, if you will. And I mean, at its core, I mean, I like to keep it more mysterious, but at its core, it seems like it's just repetition, being stuck in a loop, kind of like a hamster wheel, that kind of is the core, I think, of like the video.
Okay. And was that recorded like during the COVID stuff? I mean, here in Ireland, I think it's very different to what's happening in the States. So like, I'm not totally with it, but
right.
Yeah.
Well, I think we just lifted the mask like mandate, and a lot of people have been getting vaccinated since earlier this year.
Yeah.
And we shot this, I think, 3 weeks ago. So this was like pretty recent. Things were more relaxed. But we did record the whole album in like lockdown. We started writing it and finished recording it right as lockdown was starting to end. So
were you doing stuff like kind of separately and then kind of bringing it together through like online medias, or was it very much like in the studio, hands-on? Yeah.
The second option. We tried to use Splice. I don't know if you've heard of Splice, but it's like an Ableton thing where like if I don't have someone else's energy, then it's hard to get into it for me. But what we did is like towards the end of last year, I think around October, we started rehearsing in this room. This is the swamp. This is where I record all the stuff.
Oh, that's the swamp. There we go. The famous swamp.
Yeah, check it out.
There we go. Nice one. I love the banner on the roof. That looks kind of vibe.
Yeah, That's from a show. But we've been here for a while, and we were getting tested. We weren't seeing people.
Yeah.
So we started sort of isolating, and we felt comfortable to meet. So we would meet occasionally, and every time we would meet, we started recording onto this tape machine that we had bought. We never recorded a tape before.
Yeah.
And we would just show up and be like, hey, let's just write a song. We'd spend 5 or 6 hours in here and come out with a demo that was pretty much a less refined version of what's on the album.
Yeah.
And then in December, COVID got pretty bad here in LA. And then I ended up getting it as well. But yeah, but the symptoms were mild for me, thankfully. I got really lucky. But so then we couldn't meet anymore. So the album had like a stop at that point, but we had a lot of songs. And then I wrote like the other half of the album here alone, with the same tape machine and everything. Then in February of this year, we decided to lock down our new keyboardist studio and live there for 2 weeks and record the album fully. So that's how it went down. So yeah, that's a long version of explaining, just all together in a room.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, that's definitely the way to do it if you can, get away with it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, outside, I just saw you had tats there. What are the tats on your arm? What are they?
Oh,
if you don't mind.
Yeah, I don't mind. My girlfriend did this one. It's some of her artwork.
All right.
Yeah, it's like originally it's like the shepherd, like the religious imagery.
Yeah.
But she changed it to like a Grim Reaper, and it kind of looks like a little chihuahua.
Okay.
So is that. And then I have these the binary code, like computer code numbers. So this is like a lowercase I and a lowercase W for Interwave.
Ah, nice one. Representing the brand always.
Yeah, always. Yeah. But secretly, because people are like, what is that?
Yeah. It's really only like, the occasional robot, like, whoa, what is that? But
some people are like, some people pick it up, but a lot of people don't. They just think it's like gibberish.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, there's a lot of people who just get like a random shit tattooed on them, and they're just like, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fair play. So going forward, kind of like tours. Obviously, you've got the album dropping. What else is happening for the rest of the
year? We're playing a show in Chicago.
Yeah.
It's gonna be our first show since 2019, before the whole thing. Yeah.
God damn, that's hectic.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So we're excited for that. Gonna like properly announce that soon.
Yeah.
And then I think towards the end of the year, we're gonna try to do something like some special shows for like maybe New Year's. We're still trying to like solidify all of that. I mean, the album has a lot of live strings and a lot of extra percussion and like horns, and it's kind of like I got a bunch of shit in there, even like harp,
Yeah.
So it would be cool to like do like 2 shows at one venue, really nail the sound, and then just have like all the elements there in real time. But we're just trying to make sure we can make that happen.
Yeah, I'm really curious to listen to this now, because like it's going to be funky but also harp, literally harp.
Yeah.
So that's a vibe. I mean, like what was were you just like, okay, that's an instrument you want to try out in the whole thing? Or
well, I've always loved harp. I love like flutes and strings and orchestral instruments.
Yeah.
I think with this album already sounding very 70s, like at its core, like a lot of it was written with all of us in the room at the same time. So it was recorded that way, like onto tape live in a room. I just kept thinking about the 70s thing, and there's so many 70s records that I love, like even David Axelrod stuff, where there's a core band, but then there's like the strings and the horns that supplement the whole thing, So that's where my head was at, like supplementing the music that I thought was already strong, but in sing it. I think orchestral instruments can make things sound very grandiose and epic and
Oh
timeless.
yeah, definitely.
So that's kind of the reasoning behind it, you know.
Okay, fair enough. And then like, how is that going to work live? Are you just going to have those instruments, or are you just going to have like the recordings?
Well, you know, we don't play to like a click track, so
Yeah.
that kind of makes it harder for us. But
Yeah.
we're also, you know, between me and the guys and Cruz, who's like the guy playing keys with us now, we
Yeah.
have a lot of technical knowledge about gear. So
Yeah.
we have ways to like, you know, sample stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've been doing that since forever, you know, sampling like weird sounds you make on either Ableton or whatever, and then putting them on like an MPC and like making that whole thing work. It's kind of weird right now. It's like it's definitely like trying to solve like, because there's so many elements, you know, it's trying to solve like with this many hands who can do what. But I think we've gotten pretty good at that.
Yeah. And you always see those like viral videos online of like one guy playing like 5 different instruments.
Yeah,
like, and he's just trying to like quickly do everything at once and like hitting loop tracks and everything.
Yeah.
It's good shit. But yeah, so like stuff that you listen to growing up, listening to right now, that is heavily influencing what you're doing, just in general, whole life's work.
Right. Well, I think there's a lot of stuff I listened to growing up that influenced like the direction I wanted to take with music.
Yeah.
But a lot of it right now, stuff that I had listened to for the album differed a little bit. It was slightly different. But I think just influences for me, stuff that music that made me want to get into music was definitely early 2000s garage rock bands, you know, like Arctic Monkeys, stuff like that. Strokes,
all the good stuff. Yeah.
Queens of the Stone Age, Interpol, all those bands. That made me want to start a band, be in a band, that whole thing.
Yeah.
But also, you know, MF Doom is a huge inspiration for me. Yeah, I got into MF Doom in high school. A friend like showed me his music, and it was like one of those like light bulb moments, you know. I just kind of saw
go
music
home and
differently.
Instantly listen to everything that the guy's ever done. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And also like going back to like us sampling ourselves, you know. I think I got a lot of what I do with sampling from MF Doom, you know. The way he would flip stuff or use certain like skits or whatever, you know, stuff like that.
What would you say your favorite song of his is? Or like top 3, you know, like, I mean, there's quite a few good ones.
It's a huge discography. I would say Potholders is a really good song.
Yeah.
Like I love that sample. It is the first song that of MF Doom's that I heard, so I'm just gonna throw that in there too.
Yeah.
And then probably something from Mad Villain. So, but the one thing that caught my eye was like the band, like the drummer, the like everyone. So at 9 years old, like I would just hop on the drums after the service was over, and some of the guys that would play would start teaching me stuff. And then before I knew it, I was playing in the church band at like 10 years old, 9 years old. I was playing drums. And then I started playing guitar when I was like 10 or 11, bass, and then keys and all that. And that's before I met any of the Interwave guys, you know?
Yeah.
So I was doing that, and I knew I loved music and wanted to do that. But I always thought like when you join a band, it's like in the movies, it's like you're all like 18, you start the band, and then 5 months later, you like life changes, you know? I thought it was just gonna be like that. So like
10 years later.
Yeah, I know. I'm not complaining, but you know, it's just like, you know, I think Gene and Eli were the ones that were like, oh, we should start a band, you know? Gene didn't play an instrument. I think me and Eli, who's the guitarist, were the only people that played any instruments at all. So yeah, we became a band when we were like 12. And half of us didn't play anything and never have, you know, but we were a band.
The world's still recovering from that band. It like took the whole world by storm.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that's kind of, I think when I started playing with them,
Yeah.
that first rehearsal,
Mm.
that's what made me feel like I could do this and like I want to do this.
Okay, fair enough. So you think like you'll probably for the like the foreseeable future just stay in the whole like music scene in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to get into film more
Yeah.
eventually. I mean, like writing scores for movies, but also like directing stuff eventually or whatever, that would be cool. But I think like my home base is music for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then on the directing side, like, would movies be a big thing for you? Like, are you big into your movies?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think for every interwave project, I kind of think about them like in terms of movies I've seen before or
All
certain
right. Yeah. Yeah.
styles,
Yeah.
and it kind of helps me with the music, like see like how the music all ties in cohesively or not.
Okay. So what would some of your favorite movies be?
Let's see. They're kind of damn so many. I feel like when I
Yeah.
was when I was younger, it was like Pulp Fiction and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
think as I got older, man, what are my favorite movies? I have a lot of favorite directors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Well, I mean, I guess like if there's songs that were influenced by movies, which like roughly like which ones were influenced by what movie? If you can do like a quick.
so like Blade Runner is a reoccurring one.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
great movie. Great movie.
yeah, and I keep finding more things about it that I want to like explore. I mean, we have a song on part 3 that
Yeah.
has it's called Our Deckard, which is basically just Rick Deckard,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
just. And then the beginning of WID with that song Estrella.
Yeah.
It's when I was writing that intro, I was picturing the opening scene of Blade Runner when they fly into the city and it looks like all the fires like shooting up and it's like a
Yeah.
dystopian
Yes. Yeah.
futuristic
Yeah.
city. But also for WID, I was watching this movie called it's this French movie by Jean-Luc Godard, Alphaville.
All
It's
right.
this like black and white it's like a noir film type thing, but it's all black and white and supposed to be like sci-fi.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
But it's also I think probably from early 70s or like something like that.
Yes, they're
I think.
very much like a purpose mood. Like that's yeah.
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 And I feel like watching that, I mean, if you watch it, you'll probably be like, oh yeah, this dude like ripped it off. But like that's why all the WID stuff's black and white, just
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I was curious about that because like it was definitely in terms of a lot of the cover arts, that one does stand out as being a bit darker and more like kind of almost emo rappy and in like how it looked.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It is a darker project too, I felt like it was appropriate for the imagery.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously like
Yeah.
Scheming had like the whole almost like gangster,
Yeah.
kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Greases, there we go. That's what I was looking for. But yeah, good stuff. Okay. The OOF video. That looked
Mhm.
wild. Who directed that? That was
For Oof. Yeah.
Yeah,
that
Oof.
that video was directed by our friend Philip Human. He's a director from New Orleans. Super, super sick, super nice guy. He I think Gene got in contact with him through like they met in New York somehow. And then we started talking, started hanging out more, and then we asked him if he wanted to direct a video for one of our songs, and
Yeah.
he loved the song, and I thought he killed it. The whole idea was just him just developing it.
Yeah, it was really sick. Like it literally you open up and you see guys and you're like, okay, yeah, sure. And then like the pink turtlenecks on the motorbike and you're like, yes, this is a vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hot as hell, but it was
Yeah.
a vibe for sure.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a scene. Quickly going back to the Blade Runner thing, what did you think of the remake or reboot or whatever it was?
I loved it actually. That's
Yeah.
another director that I really like, Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
I think is his name, if I'm not saying it wrong. But his stuff's great, you know?
It slaps. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I've seen a movie of his that I didn't like so far.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to his rendition of Dune. So that's coming out like soon.
That's a thing. Wasn't it meant to come out like earlier, and then they pushed it back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I think it's probably supposed to come out either this year or last year.
Yeah.
I don't know. The whole thing's
That's
like,
going to be a thing because, like, I don't even know how you get that series into movie form. I mean,
yeah.
that's
I mean,
kind of a
David
tough
Lynch.
one.
David Lynch did a version back in like the 80s.
That was a fever dream. That movie was a bloody fever dream, man.
Yeah. I've never seen the whole thing, but I've seen like parts of it, clips of it and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'd love to watch that before I watch this one, just to see like, you know, how different it is in like mood, you know?
Having watched the David Lynch one, it'll probably be massively different. It is,
yes,
because like it's like proper David Lynch. Like you literally at any given point you have no idea what's happening, and it looks terrifying.
Yeah,
no, it's good stuff.
It's kind of his trademark.
Kind of running out of questions, I'll be honest, man.
Yeah, you could you know, improvise one if you wanted to.
I could improvise one. What is that? There's a circular thing directly behind you. There's like on the wall. It looks like that one. What is that? That looks kind of crazy.
Do you guys have Arizona iced tea over there?
We have heard of Arizona iced tea through the wonders that is TikTok and
Instagram. And Young Lean. Arizona ice. Yeah, so that's just the logo of that. There's a lot of stuff here that is from shows.
Yes, yeah.
Or that's a license plate that says Interwave and shows. But then there's just stuff like that I think we just found somewhere.
Yeah, no, I've got a lot of random stuff like that as well.
Yeah, it looks kind of crazy in here. I'd flip it around, but this laptop's connected to this thing right here. But
yeah, no, that's G. That's G.
A disco ball.
Oh yeah, that's a vibe.
Doesn't spin, but it looks cool.
Yeah, you can just like you could just have a guy holding a torch and he spins, and then that kind of that's the vibe. Yeah. Okay. And was that like where is that? Is that obviously not to like dox you, but like is that just at a house or?
Yeah, this is like where I live. So this is the garage of the house where I live.
Okay. Yeah. And was that put in specifically for like music, or was that just?
Well, this was just a garage, you know. And then we moved into this spot. We used to rehearse at our old drummer spot since 2006 to 2013. In 2013, we moved into this spot. Yeah. And we've been here since. And it used to just be a garage, but then we put all this like hush board, like soundproofing stuff, and put carpet in here, cleaned it up, put some more outlets. This was the garage door that we just sort of sealed up and then put like an actual door right here.
Yes,
yeah.
For those of you who are listening to this through the power of only listening, there's a door. He's pointing to a door is what he's pointing at.
Yeah, I forgot. This is like on the radio. Just imagine a garage and then imagine that the garage door no longer opens because I sealed it. And then imagine an
iced tea thing on it.
Yes. Yeah. And then imagine a regular door gets put in there so you can come in and out of it without having to open a whole wall.
Yeah, it's a pretty revolutionary concept, actually. Yeah. Okay, so dream gig, what would that be? Where would that be? Who would it be? Like, who would open? Who would potentially you be opening? I don't know. What's dream gig?
Dead or alive, like anyone?
Literally
anybody.
Should we
say okay? Damn, that's
just
so
to make it
people.
Nice and hard. Okay, no. We'll start with alive, and then
alive.
We can always go back
dream
to that.
Gig, man.
And it can be as crazy as you like. The venue can literally be anything. It doesn't have to be an actual music venue. Just putting that out there.
Well, I think there's that venue called Red Rocks that I've always been told is really beautiful. It's like an amphitheater thing. I know every time it comes up, Eli's like excited about it, so I'm gonna choose that.
Okay, that's the place.
And I think the dream gig would have to include, like, it's gonna be a long show. It'll be like it would be like a mini festival, I think. You know.
Yeah.
So
people pitching tents outside Red Rock.
Yeah, you
multi-day
know,
event. Yeah.
yeah. So Tori Moa would have to be on there for sure.
Yeah.
You know, guaranteed.
Hmm.
We'd also have to have the we have to have Pink Floyd there, you know, Roger
Obviously.
Waters.
Yeah.
They're gonna do a quadraphonic sound show, you know. We have to
Yeah.
have that. Who else? Fuck, Outcast is gonna be there. They're
Yes.
gonna be, you
Making the
know,
crowd go wild, doing his thing.
yeah. What else? Who else? There's too much. It's too much power. I feel like I'm like the world's like best booking agent right now. I'm just like, you know, I have
Yeah,
everyone at my
infinite budget.
disposal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, you know, Tupac comes back and he
Yeah.
does a set.
Rocks out. Yeah, he was just hiding in like, I don't know, Bermuda this whole time. He's been vibing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Doors.
Yeah.
We would
Okay.
play. We would
Yeah.
play. I don't think we would headline because that feels disrespectful.
Yeah.
So we'll open, you know,
Yeah.
or I'll DJ.
Like,
I don't
who
care.
who do you think would be like a good pairing with your guys' stuff? Like, if you opened, who would be a good kind of main act?
Ooh. I feel like Krungbin would be a good like
Oh, yeah.
juxtaposition, you know, similar but like very different. I think that'd be cool. Yeah. Because there's other acts that are like, you know, a huge influence, like Tame Impala, let's say,
Yeah.
that I think sounds like it could be I mean, it would be a great show, but maybe you want like something that is a little more different, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Because I'd say your stuff is definitely like, you wouldn't be able to immediately be like, oh yeah, no, they like take inspiration from Tame Impala, I would say. Because like, it's not as produced. Like, there's a lot of weird noises in Tame Impala stuff that you guys are more like, nah, normal acoustic with like muffled sound. Muffled sound. That is the number one thing I like. Also in all of the stuff, like in the Apoptosis playlist, like all of those songs have like a muffled effect to them, which I thought was, I was like, yeah, that's Innerwave.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, fair play. Okay. Yeah, so we've done touring, new stuff. Album comes out when?
It comes out September 30th. So yeah, we chose that date because of what I was telling you, that first rehearsal I had with the guys. That was back in 2006.
Yeah.
And that was September 30th. So this September 30th would be literally the 15-year mark of us being a band.
Whoa, okay,
So,
goddamn, yeah.
I thought it was a cool date to choose for the album.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations for keeping it going for that long. That's an achievement in and of itself.
Thanks, man. Yep, I'm married to 4 other dudes, you know. So pretty cool.
Ladies, back off. He's taken.
I'm taken 4 times over.
Yeah, exactly. Gotcha. Right. Awesome stuff. Best of luck with the album drop. Definitely
Thank
will be
you.
listening to that. And are you releasing any other like singles beforehand, or are you just waiting?
Yes.
Yes.
We want to drop 2 more. So hopefully we can do that. If not just 1 more, but I think the plan is 2 more and then drop the album.
I mean, how many tracks are on the album?
12.
12. Okay, cool.
12.
Yeah. So take 3 and then 2 more potentially released, and then
Full album.
Awesome. Yep. Awesome. Looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. It was nice chatting with you.
Yeah, and if you're in Ireland, which hopefully at some point you are.
Yes, I'd love to.
Good stuff. Right, man. Bye. Thanks for coming on.
All right, take care.
Best of luck.
Bye-bye.